Howdy everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Faab Five campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around the virtual table today are Alyssa, Joe, Jeremy, Koines, and Kyle. Say hi, everyone.
Hola.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Now, the Debauchery Circus was on hiatus this week while a few of the players were out of town, but they should be back next Monday at 3 p.m. Central Time, like usual. You can keep up to date on all of our scheduling by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Dang, kind of tripped on that one. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Faab Five.
Yep, she started getting dreams. They're pretty horrific.
Pretty horrific dreams. Can't wait to hear more. But we are back. So when we last left off, the Faab Five were camping in the forest just outside of the trade outpost of Morag, so that Liam could remain outside the notice of the Red Guards there. While him, Apollyon, and Veil remained behind to relax and enjoy the day, Blood and Eloise joined Tomas and Vulcan in returning to the Dwarven capital to run a few errands. Tomas and Vulcan quickly separated once they were inside the city, leaving Blood and Eloise to head to the Tinkerer Fucklerall shop in the Merchant District. There they picked up the crossbow and the hidden dagger they had ordered, and they even took some time to play around with a few of each of the gnome's other crazy contraptions. This, unfortunately for Blood, led to Eloise getting a migraine and taking some medicine that Fucklerall provided, which left her in a severely altered state of mind. Blood was forced to both guide and babysit her until the pair could find Vulcan to magically clear away the drugs out of her system. Now, eventually, the trio did manage to procure the last remaining item on their shopping list, and they returned to their campsite once again to present Liam with his new hat. Not long after their return, Tomas sent the group ascending to inform them that he was being recalled to the Valena outpost, and wouldn't be able to join the crew to travel to Revancia to look for the missing Robear Mitchel. With no other reason to wait, Veil created his magical circle to teleport the five to the Erudite Conclave's Alpha outpost in the capital city of Hyrulean. He did not, unfortunately, call ahead to warn anyone of their arrival, a fact that caused quite a large commotion and almost ended with the group coming to blows with the Conclave's private security force. Fortunately, the squad managed to talk their way out of too much trouble, though they did receive a black mark in their file for it. And so, Faab Five, You are currently sitting around a table in a conference room on the first floor of the Conclave's outpost in the city of Revancia, the capital of Hyrulean. Emmeline Hayden, the human woman who is your research liaison here at the outpost, has moved over to a corner while your group was discussing what to do. And if you glance over at her, you can see that she has her fingers pressed to her ears and her head is cocked to one side in that familiar stance of someone communicating via the message spell. Somewhere in the distance, you can hear the sound of bells ringing in an intricate chime to melodically inform the city that the time is currently 9 o'clock in the evening. While the Conclave building itself looks identical to each other, no matter which one you go to, a brand new city lies just beyond its uniform tan stone walls. But, Faab Five, before you have a chance to do anything else, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what is your opinion on nobility or authority? And since Apollyon rolled first, why don't you go ahead and go?
Nobility, who needs them? Always thinking they're better than everybody. I want to live wild and free out in the world, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me I'm not allowed or I'm not fancy enough.
I like it. Blood from a Stone, how about you?
I don't know. Nobility is not something that we ever had to really worry about back home. But I mean, authority. I mean, I acknowledge authority, but I think it needs to be earned. Respect needs to be earned. It's not just given. So it's a come and go. I respect those that let's say don't try and fuck me over. That's probably the gist of it.
All right, there goes the PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you only
sorry.
get one.
I'm sorry. The
Exactly. We just got one in the first 30 seconds of the show.
the night on the boat. I think that ruined our PG-13 rating way back when.
Probably.
Oh yeah. Good times.
Okay, Eloise, how about you?
I mean, I don't really get it. I mean, they don't seem to, earn what makes them supposedly better than other people. It's not like they're wiser or especially anything really other than rich mostly. Which, if they were rich in something useful, that would be, something to consider, but they're just rich in these shiny bits of metal that everyone trades and nobody keeps, so I don't get it.
Ooh-wee, love me those shiny bits of metal.
Fair enough. Necthros Veil, how about you?
So, nobility and authority, they're all well and good as long as you're not getting in my way. And at the end of the day, the only one who matters is the Spider Queen herself.
Yeah, Loth does have her own, things that she definitely demands. No doubt about that. Okay. Liam, you're last. How do you
so
feel?
first of all, you totally threw me off guard, you jerk. What did you say?
What I said was, Liam, you're last. How do you feel?
How do I feel? I was ready to go off on you. Alright, so first of all, nobility is just another way of saying that it's good for me and not good for you. Everybody else is excluded. And authority, that's only given to those who haven't been caught doing the things that they catch the other people doing. Don't get me started on authority.
You went Italian there for a second.
Look,
Okay.
allegedly Italian. Allegedly.
There is no confirmed connection there.
Okay. Well, Fab Five. Last session you did scry or Eloise did scry on Mitchell, and she did see that the flamboyant mage had been tortured by the cult. Abir had appeared and talked to him about introducing him to somebody else, but Eloise decided to drop that spell before she could find out whatever that was, because she was afraid that Abir might notice she was scrying again. Also, at the end of last session, Apollyon, since you weren't here, Ona, the goblin information broker that that Eloise had met in Morag, sent Eloise ascending to warn her that someone in Port Valena was asking about your whereabouts. And that's kind of where we left things off, with your group sitting around the table. Emmeline, the research liaison, is giving your group kind of a moment's privacy while she's conferring with the message spell. But apart from that, the evening and the city of Revancia is yours. So what would you like to do?
Speaking of the message spell, I realized that when Tomas messaged me, I responded by telling the group what he said and not to the message, further proving my lack of understanding of the spell.
No, that's exactly what he heard. He just heard the thing back yelling to the group, and he was just like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm not calling him again. But what are you wanting to
do we have access to this conclave's library?
Yeah, you absolutely do.
So, Veil would like to know if he could learn the locate object spell. It's a level 2 spell. Just for reasons.
Yeah, just for reasons.
For sure.
Well, 100 gold per level spell, so you could absolutely go and get that spell and spend the next 2 hours, as long as you have the paper for it.
Yes, I should have the paper for it. Let me just double check.
Or you could just buy some paper.
Veil would also like to know if he could buy some papers in ink.
They do have a small resource that members can buy from. How much are you wanting to get? They could probably sell you maybe 200 gold worth of papers and ink and stuff.
I'm gonna lean over to Veil. Tia, do you need I see the greed in your eyes. Do you need a little handout to get what you want?
And when Liam says the word hand, Veil instantly casts Mage Hand with the palm out and the old, right here.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I'm gonna hand him 500 gold, but I want this back. You owe me still.
You got it. So he puts a note into his journal saying, "Oh, Liam, 500 gold plus something special." And he draws a little winking smiley face.
Oh,
great.
Emmeline, your liaison, who you're asking about this, she mentions to you, if you're looking to add some more spells into your book, Mr. Veil, perhaps the sending spell wouldn't be a bad idea. That way you don't have kerfuffle that you did earlier today.
And
I'm unfamiliar with that word. What is kerfuffle? Kerfuffle? What does that mean?
This one.
What's that?
But I know what that means.
Go ahead.
It just means that that you created a situation, a not necessarily positive and slightly chaotic situation.
And Emmeline, she just kind of nods and points at Eloise and says, "What she said, yes."
I know things.
Shorthand, she said we fucked up.
Eloise is just sitting there grinning, back straight, smiling really, really big.
Okay, so, yes, I would like to learn the sending spell as well.
I believe,
And,
if I'm not mistaken, it's a 4th level spell.
Sending, I think, is 3rd. I might be wrong. Sending 5e.
Yep, you're right. It's a 3rd.
I play a lot of clerics. What can I say?
Fair enough. But sending, like I said, is a 3rd level evocation, so you could purchase it for 300 gold, and it would cost you 150 gold worth of paper, so that you could buy that 200 gold worth of paper that they can sell you and cover those 2 spells.
Okay, so I'll do that. So
it
I will.
cost you 250. Sorry.
250, but
250 in paper you would need, and 500 in gold for the level 2
excellent.
level 3 spells.
That will leave me with 56 gold left.
Wow, impressive.
That's a true wizard right there.
Enough to get a few beers at the tavern.
There it is. I love it.
All right, and I'm gonna have to delete this because I just used it all.
So
If 56 gold only gets you a few beers, you're buying way too expensive, or you're getting.
Wonder how much I could sell my beers for.
I don't know.
Ooh, probably a lot.
Now,
and then
I will point out this also takes like 5 hours of Veil's day to do this.
Well, it's evening anyways, so we were
7 p.m., right?
Yeah. Can we get a
I'll be done by
cot
midnight
here for the night, or a room or something?
Yeah, you absolutely can. They do keep barracks in the Conclave for researchers to use. They're not the best in the world. It's long room of bunk beds that people just grab a cot and crash it for the night.
Sounds great.
Find a kip, that sort of thing. But you definitely can, and for the most part, it's not too crowded. You're led to one of these barracks, which is actually in one of the lower levels of the Conclave, and just past that training room, Liam, that you've noticed before. And you're brought in, and there's a handful of field researchers, maybe about 5 or 6 that just kind of keeping to themselves towards the back. But for the most part, other than them, you've got the barracks to yourselves for the night. So is there anything your group wants to do other than Veil, doing his book work?
Not that I had planned. Everybody else good?
Yeah.
I think so.
So Veil has that ring of acid resistance, I believe it was, that he got out of the that little well of acid a while back. What is the worth of that?
You can ask Mitchell once we save him.
There you go.
All right. I'll just wait then.
I'm looking right now.
Liam, are you already attuned to 3 items?
I am.
Okay.
Flail, bow, and bracers.
I got my 3 items. I don't need anything else.
Are you looking to sell this ring to the Conclave?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find something to pay Liam back with, basically.
Yeah, you're told that ring of acid resistance that you have, actually they would pay 2,000 gold for.
All right. Well, Yeah, I don't want to bother Mitchell after this whole ordeal, so maybe I'll just sell this now to them, and then I'll give Liam his 500 back right then and there.
Okay.
Aces.
You can take their Ring of Acid Resistance off your character sheet, and you can put on. You have another 1,500 gold. Sorry.
That might be the happiest way anyone's ever woken up Liam, by handing him 500 gold.
Would the conclave also be interested in this rare fish that I caught while on the river?
Oh yeah, the fish.
The jeweled fish that I've been carrying around in the bag of clothing.
How much is that thing worth? I can't.
The one I have says it's worth 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
you-
Liam's
100,000.
too.
I figure they maybe have like a natural sciences division or something that's looking for.
Oh, absolutely.
Specimens.
They do actually have a science division that you can ask about, and they'll bring you down to see it. It's an interesting operation. It's mostly a really well scrubbed, polished, clean room with people wearing robes and hoods and masks over their faces. It's all cloth and leather because this is more fantasy medieval kind of place. But as close as you can get to a cold room, down at like the fourth basement level, you do find it, and you see, and it's kind of interesting. It's more like a morgue than anything else. You got people dissecting random things that's been brought in. You got a couple scientists doing experiments in the back, and when you show them your fish, they seem a bit surprised. Like it's something they haven't actually pulled up before, but they're also like, it's not a monster, it's nothing like that, but it is interesting, and someone will probably want to take a look at it. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Are Liam and Blood wanting to get to see if they can get rid of theirs as well?
What race are these scientists? Are any of them dwarves?
Nah, we probably left all those behind.
Yeah, you can sell mine. I have no other use for a gemfish
Sure,
than
why
selling
not?
it.
One is a dwarf. I have no problem with that.
Cool, I get advantage on persuasion again with dwarves.
Yeah, we're just hanging on to the one so you can make a fly spell potion.
Oh no, yeah, the flying fish liver is separate from the 3 fish, jeweled
Yeah.
fish.
Mine was 300. You could sell that one.
Yep.
Okay, so what'd you get?
My roll 20 just did something crazy and backed me out of it. Hold on.
He
Like
rolled 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with an 18, you show all the fish that you're wanting to sell, and they're actually going to give you a 20% markup of what it's worth.
Ooh.
Because Apollyon
Heck
is
yeah.
standing there grinning, eyebrow raised, looking big and beefy and manly. The dwarf scientist, little guy, kind of middling years, bright red hair. He just kind of looks up and he's like, yeah, ginger to ginger, fist bump.
Cool. So instead of 500, 600 to split between the 3 of you.
Nice.
So there you go.
600 divided by 3 is 200 each. Okay. Are you guys okay with splitting it that way? Splitting it even?
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Fun.
Yeah, I don't care.
There you go. The conclave, if it's something interesting or something magical, there's somebody might willing to buy it. Sometimes, you won't find that particular guy there, but this is actually the alpha location of the conclave. This is the first one ever built, and they have a bit more of a unique and robust grouping and researchers doing work here than most. Is there anything else you're wanting to do before you take a long rest?
Nope.
I'll ask Liam if he would help me translate another potion from my potion spell book. Or, it's not spell book, potion recipe book.
I'm not going to say no. Yeah, I'll help.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be a lot of it. Just one more.
Just is there a roll for that?
So yeah, what I want you to do is the two of you are going to be working together, and I want you to roll a nature check with advantage. He's translating to you in Sylvan, and you're trying to work out what all the the different things are and how they relate. So you're like translating someone else's work. So go ahead and give me a nature check with advantage, since the two of you are working together to translate this book, and let's see what you can get.
23.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The two of you spend a few hours working together in the barracks. You're able. There's a desk there you can work at, no problem. And you're sitting there trying to work it out, and you're just kind of writing down as what he's explaining to you, and then you start looking at it, and with your knowledge of druidism and herbalism and that sort of thing, you sit there and begin to puzzle it out. Let's see what you get. Go ahead and roll me a D100.
52.
Okay, so what you're analyzing this potion, and you're kind of working it out, and what you realize is that this potion is actually a potion of climbing. It gives you advantage on any athletics check due to that you use for climbing.
Oh, well, I already know how to make the spider climb potion, so.
Yeah,
Right.
this one's
Which
called
is even
Goblin
better.
Climb.
Goblin climb. Okay. And it gives advantage
on athletics checks for climbing or things like that.
And is it another one that lasts 10 minutes or?
That one's kind of weak, so I'm going to say that lasts an hour.
An hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there you go. Random
Freaking
potions.
Goblin climb. Man, now I'm picturing Blood in the goblin hat climbing and doing the goblin climb.
That would have been fun.
No, it wouldn't.
So while your group has been doing some stuff, Liam and Eloise have been working on their potions. Veil is off doing his own spell work, and Apollyon went down to check out science. So what were you doing, Blood?
Well, I suppose that if anybody wants to go into the city with him, he's going to seek out his troublesome syndicate friends.
I thought that was more of a tomorrow thing.
Well, I guess if we're going to do it, well, I mean, I get what you said. It was about 7 o'clock when we got in.
It's about 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah, then I guess it's going to be too late for that. Yeah, I mean, he'll ask them.
It's up to you.
Well, yeah, but then he doesn't. He's going to need to get some kind of rest.
You'd have to do it by yourself because we are all doing it.
Then he'll just start. He'll ask for research on if they know any. I guess those one places they told us about. If they have any information on them.
I don't know what you just asked me. So
you remember? All right, they said the woman.
She has
a house. She has a house. What I think 30 miles outside of town.
Okay.
Or the temple.
If they have any information that perhaps they're not supposed to have, but they do. Like if they had to, if they were investigating for any reason or.
They do have a little bit of information on the villa, but they don't have like a map of it or anything like that.
They don't have like construction blueprints, anything like that.
No, outside of the city, not a lot of building permits are filed. If you get my meaning, like you own the property, you're going to do with it as you will. Now, they do have a name for you of the firm that did the construction on it.
Okay, that'll work.
And the firm itself is actually a firm out of sorry, I'm blanking for a second. Out of North Amia in the kingdom of Radagast.
So they're not in town. They'd have to.
The firm itself, no, they're based in a different place, and they were brought out here to
It
do
doesn't
the
help.
construction.
And I guess he would also ask if they have any idea of known syndicate locations or syndicate operatives that might be in the city.
That they actually do have. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check, because as you're sitting there, you're asking about this. They're kind of like, the syndicate's kind of a touchy subject.
Scoundrels. Oh, goddamn! It was on a 15 and went to a 7, 13. Scoundrels are going to know. Let's just say they're going to know things that you all aren't, and they're going to be willing to do things you all aren't. So, unfortunately, they are needed at times like this.
Your liaison kind of shrugs a little bit, and she's like, "You're not completely wrong. The local branch of the syndicate call themselves the Unseen Blades, and from what I've heard of them, what we have down is that they make their headquarters at a place called the Cross Swords, which is in the which is actually in the southwestern part of town.
Cross Swords, Unseen Blades.
Sorry, southeastern part of town, across the river. You didn't ask, but since you're talking about it, she does pull out a map and hands it over to you to take a look at, and I'm going to send that to you now. There you go.
Sweet. And it's like the Cross Swords. Is it just
The
like
Cross
the
Swords
inn?
Yeah, it's an inn
Okay.
that's located across the river to the southeast in what's considered the poorer section of town.
Naturally.
Which you can see, it's on the southwest corner of the map down there.
I can see that.
Now, there are a few dots on there, which are places of note. The red location, it says on the map, the red is Buxleyan Palace. That's where the elected king and the Senate presides over, right across from one another. The blue dot is the Erudite Conclave. That's where you are right now. And the purple dot is the Quintarium. That's the Church of the Five. Big basilica cathedral type place.
Sort of like, I guess, what was it? The St. Peter's.
St. Peter's Basilica. Kind of envision that. They tell you it's actually hexagonally shaped, or not.
Penta.
Yeah,
Pentagon.
Pentagonally shaped. Sorry, not hexagonal. Pentagonally shaped.
It's the Pentagon.
Yeah, kind of. It's shaped like that, but it's all big marble columns and that sort of thing. It's huge, actually.
Really ostentatious, I guess.
Yes, very much so.
And
actually, just so people who watch know, it's the most complicated fucking map I've ever made in my life. Because trying to make a pentagon shape in any sort of map making application is really challenging.
You would think they would have been like just a basic shape that would be available, but
nope, not at all.
I appreciate you, Matt.
But it was fun to make. Anyway, so that is Revancia right there. And like I said, the local syndicate is a group called the Unseen Blades. And their known location where they like to hang out at is the Cross Swords Inn, which is in the southeastern part of Revancia.
Naturally, Blood knows that there are many more syndicate locations. They just don't know about them.
Well, there's tons of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and mark
That's just
out
like
on
their
the map. This is
headquarters
their
of sorts.
headquarters.
Yeah.
This is where the known leadership is.
Like the local union branch, you know.
Basically, yeah.
They don't have a sign up, but they have a sign up. You know. All right. Well, he's satisfied. He's going to start kind of like just maybe he'll pull like them aside later and ask them who wants to go with him, and he's immediately going to think Eloise was with me last time. I'm not going to ask Eloise. But he's like, you know what? I think I'll ask Liam this time.
Hey, it went well last time.
I don't know. What is blood think?
Hey, that info
You know what?
from Ona would not be
She
available
asked- I
without
know.
Eloise.
So he's
Props
thankful
where
of
props
that.
are due.
He's thankful of that. He's like, but we got to keep all this kind of information in house. Like, we don't want somebody just getting excited and just going off. He needs somebody who's unscrupulous, somebody who's murdered an entire town, kind of person. You know.
Well, maybe we should get some help from this thieves guild.
Yeah. That is on my resume. Check.
He won't actually say that out loud.
Thank you for.
He's not going to put it that way out loud. He's not going to. That's just me saying that. That's not blood.
I'm sorry, your voice and Blood's voice are pretty similar.
I can't help having fucking parents from Texas. It comes out occasionally.
That it may be that he doesn't say it out loud, but he was definitely thinking it.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Do you have
On
any
the
other
entire
questions?
town, Niase's still standing. Whatever.
Blood, did you have any other questions for your liaison before they go to bed?
No, I mean, I guess if they have any kind of maps of like maybe the underground sewer system, if there is one here in Revancia.
There is, and it is
Okay.
massive and extensive, and I don't actually have a drawn map.
I think I did. Yeah, I mean, if you know, I mean, he would probably request something like that. Just see if he can start looking for patterns that he thinks in his, unscrupulous past of things where he would hide things. Put in something, he's going to try and identify shit like that.
Okay, so you are provided with a map of the sewer system. The sewer system is not large. The largest of the pipes are probably no more than 7 feet wide at its biggest points. Lots of little pipes going all over the city. Some aqueducts and things of that nature in it as well. Go ahead and make a... I'd probably call this an intelligence check as you're studying this map, trying to determine like if there's any good cross points or nexus points or things like that.
It's 22.
Nice. Okay, so looking over this map, one of the things that you notice is that your eyes go to that southwestern or that southeastern section of Revancia, where you're told that they have a location there, and you're kind of looking through all these pipes, and you notice there's a lot of nexus points in the lower district, a lot more than you would expect for some place on the other side of town. You can also tell that from there they kind of go under the river at one point near the cheap side of town before it starts branching outward. Going through the rest of the city. There's a lot of pipes that go through it, and some of them you suspect aren't big enough for some people, like those of you who are 6 foot or bigger. Other places definitely.
I don't like being in tight spaces. I'm claustrophobic.
I mean, he's sitting there thinking it's like, they probably use, I mean, let's face it, they probably use children as runners or things like that. So those are perfect little things that he's like, well, these are hiding spaces. These are stash houses. These could be anything. But he's really just also kind of looking for anything that might seem like, or I guess he can ask, and they don't need to provide it tonight, like any kind of natural caverns or anything in the area that they might just dismiss as, that was from such and such and such, but something that might be used and they wouldn't think twice about it. But that's something he'll tell us, like, you know what, you guys can worry about that tomorrow.
Sure.
He won't make them stay up, anything like that. So he can talk to them in the morning if they can get that info.
That's fair. I'll just let you know that honestly, a lot of Revancia itself is a lot more grasslands with few forests here and there. It's not rocky enough that there's well-known subterranean caverns. If there's some underneath them, they've never found any evidence of that. So as far as they know, there aren't.
Yeah, he's done for now.
I'm sure if you go really, really deep, you'll get to the Underdark, and who knows what's down there, but not for what the things you're looking for, Blood.
We all know you know.
But anyway, eventually you all make your way to the barracks and kip out in one of the bunks and are able to take a long rest. You're wakened fairly early the next morning by another researcher who just comes through banging on a gong trying to wake everyone up. Checkout's fairly early here, but it's free. And it does come with a very hot meal of very bland porridge and coffee or beer.
Done without the bong ganging, banging, gonging. Oh, jeez.
Can't hear you, Eloise.
I can't hear you, Peach.
She's saying she's a morning person.
Definitely.
Can you?
Yep,
I heard
we
that.
can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, but with breakfast in your bellies, the city of Revancia is open to you. So where are you wanting to go?
I think we're following Blood first to his Thieves Guild friend to see if he's actually a friend.
I suppose we have to just go to that part of town, yeah.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Okay.
Oh, this is a new day. I get to prepare spells that could actually be helpful. Hold on.
And you could have turned to your crossbow if you wanted.
I've already got 3 items.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she got a magic item that she can't use.
Okay, well. With the morning dawning, your group heads out probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. You've spent your time preparing your spells, getting yourselves ready, and Revancia is open to you. Now, what you find when you leave the conclave and step out into the city streets itself is a massive metropolis built along a long river. Revancia is a city that prides itself on its diversity, and as such, it has the largest mixed species community on the continent. And this is reflected the moment you step out and you look around the streets and see all manner of beings. From your typical humans and dwarves, gnomes and halflings, your Goliaths, your Tabaxi, your even occasionally, not very often, like there's probably maybe 0.5% of the population that are Minotaurs, but they are out there.
Oh yeah.
Everything from tieflings to dragonborns, half-orcs to half-elves even there's a couple that move through the city. It's a gigantic melting pot. There's even goblins and hobgoblins and furbolg and everything else that's lives on Loroupa. There's some of it representative here in this city. And the city's architecture actually reflects this very visibly. The entire city, as you begin to walk through and make your way out from the conclave and southeast towards the river, is that the city is just a hodgepodge of various building styles and design with very little thought to layout or organization. And this makes navigating the city kind of confusing to outsiders if you don't have a map. but a map was provided to you. Though even still, it takes a while to kind of figure out where you're going. And so for about an hour of walking throughout the city, you see beautiful sights and sounds, exotic smells, foods that rumble your belly, even though it's full of gruel. Just amazing breads and pastries, sweet meats, eggs fried in the open. Food is everywhere. Shops have stalls along the streets in various places. No real seeming rhyme or reason to it. And it's just massive. The sun is outside. The sky outside is actually fairly clear. Nice and sunny. Little clouds coming in, and the air does have that faint scent of fish and water as you get closer to the river. And you do find that there's a very large bridge, several places that go across from one side of the city to the other. The main road eventually takes you to a very large white stone bridge, huge archway columns along it, which is called the main bridge, oddly enough. It literally says that on my thing, which is kind of weird. But anyway. But the moment you cross the bridge to the other side, the scenery changes. The buildings on the north side of the river, like I said, very visually different. At the farther south you get into the cheap side of town, you're seeing less stonework, more ramshackle woodwork. You're definitely moving into a place where the buildings are not as well maintained. People still come by in 2s and 3s as you walk past, and you can't help but notice that there are children everywhere. Some of them are running along the streets, some of them playing in alleyways, some of them climbing onto stairs or ladder or railings or things like that. There's tons of children everywhere, and it's kind of surprising. But the more you move throughout the city, the more you're also starting to see more and more beggars lining the streets, more and more people asking for alms as you pass. As your group is walking, still making your way further south.
I'm going to pass out about 20 gold as we go, 1 gold to about 20 different people.
Okay. So you're
gonna
stopping.
upset the balance.
Yeah. So you're walking up to just random people and you hand them a coin. And the looks on their faces are just like, oh my God.
I was going to say silver, but if you want to go gold.
Yeah, gold's a lot.
I understand that, and I'm not going through their town every day.
So you, at random, you're giving out coin, and you can't help it as you walk. You glance back after giving a couple coins away to a few different people on the street. Go ahead and make a perception check, Liam.
All right. Rolling. Ooh, a 10.
Okay. As you're walking along, you hear a bit of a scuffle going on behind, but not a lot of noise is coming from it, and the clamor of people starting to come closer to you drowned out any sounds you might have heard, because people have begun to notice that you're handing out gold coins, and more people are starting to press towards your group. Towards you, Liam, in particular, hands out, reaching towards you. As you're looking around, a lot of them are children. Small, dirty-faced things. Some of them a little bit on the thin, emaciated. That's the word. Emaciated side.
They're free children?
Well, they are definitely free children. 100% they are. This is definitely a free city, but emaciated.
All right, I put a couple in my bag if they're free.
Blood will just start smacking his hand. He goes, "I didn't mean that. Come on."
Once I
You
notice
know,
Liam doing this, I'm going to
dumb.
start doing the same.
And Blood's just gonna start looking at him. He's like, "You guys are gaining quite a bit of a notoriety here. You might want to watch it."
More and more people are crowding around your group right now. You've probably got about 10 people, at least half of them are children, and more of them are starting to walk up, Liam.
Shall I get the crop? Vale says.
No, they see potential and they're taking a shot to be rewarded. And I'll take another 20 gold and I will hand one to each of the kids and then I'll throw the other 15 up in the air over the kids' heads so that the rest of the group gathers for it and we can escape.
Well, that definitely causes a massive amount of chaos.
Yes.
Just as coins go flying, people just all around go running towards it, diving for these coins. And a fight begins to break out as people are trying to grab at them and are punching and hitting one another, trying to scramble and grab at these coins that you've thrown.
I just grab a handful and throw as well because I saw Liam do it.
I'm gonna grab Eloise's hand. Sweetheart, we can't be here much longer. This is about to get bad.
There's 70 more gold out there now.
Yeah, 70 more gold has just been thrown everywhere, and people are screaming now at this point and diving, like mud wrestling through in the middle of the street.
Blood's trying to slink away.
Yeah, Blood's just pulling his cloak up and starting to dash down towards an alleyway, and whistles are starting to sound. That loud, shrill policeman's whistle is starting to be sound from somewhere to your north, the opposite the direction that you had came, and whistles are starting to call out as people are yelling that a riot is breaking out. Doors are starting to be slammed. Things are being thrown. You're starting to hear a few windows smash. What do you got? What's everyone doing?
We got to get out of here.
Did Eloise get away?
What was the name of the Thieves Guild place? The Syndicate?
The Cross Swords Inn.
The Hidden Blades.
All right, Apollyon yells out, "If you want more gold, go to the Cross Swords Inn."
No,
Blood is gonna. Oh my god, Blood is gone.
I am taking Eloise, and we're getting out of here.
Okay, go ahead and give me an athletics check as you're holding on to Eloise and trying to push past all these people that have been that are currently still crowding around you, trying to get more gold that you're just randomly throwing.
Can I help him with that? Can I give him assistance?
You have to do one too, I think.
15.
I think you both have to do one to get away.
Am I doing one too?
Yeah, you're doing one as well. He's trying to pull you, and you're trying to push your way through as well.
Okay.
So did you say he shouted the Crossroads Inn?
Cross Swords Inn.
God damn it! I was hoping he shouted the wrong thing. So
oh shit! That wasn't supposed to still yet. So 13 for me.
Well, 13 and 15 are still enough that there's enough gold on the ground already that people are grabbing at it and diving at your feet, and you're both trying to weave your way around them and pushing through. But a 13 and a 15 is enough to get past them. Blood is already gone; he just disappeared. Apollyon is just, I guess, standing in the middle there with your chest out, yelling.
No, I'm following Liam and Eloise. I'm just wading through the people.
Over the clamor of all of this going on, can we do a check to see how many people fucking heard him shout where we're going?
How many people, dude?
Were they able to hear him?
You're asking a lot.
I'm just saying, because it's a riot, but it's a riot. Would they have paid attention to him?
Go ahead and make a
perception check. Or were they too focused on the gold?
Vale. So you've just seen Blood from a Stone disappear, pull up his cloak, and just slink into an alleyway. Liam is pulling Eloise, and the two of them are shoving their way through this riot that's kind of swirled all around your group. Apollyon is starting to push his way through as well, but he's also yelling out about the Cross Swords Inn. What are you doing?
I'm just kind of lurking in the back, not close to Liam throwing the stuff, and not anywhere near Apollyon yelling. Where
So you're playing
more
one of the
gold is
crowd
across
guy.
yeah, I'll be the fire starter. Saying,
So
"Oh,
you're
that guy's
just-
got your
He's
gold."
jumping in on the looting. He's grabbing some of the gold on the ground.
Okay, go ahead and roll a deception check, Veil.
Yep. 13.
13, not bad. Yeah, you're kind of ducking down, grabbing at things as well, and you're definitely the best dressed in this crowd and the cleanest. And people are just pushing all over you. They're touching you with their dirty,
Oh, I
grubbing
don't like
hands
that.
as
I don't
they're
like
trying
that
to
at all.
grab coins away from you or nearby you.
Yep.
And you see these tiny children, humans, halflings, gnomes, a dwarf here and there, all crowding around you, snot-covered faces and grubby little fingers coming towards
Ugh.
you, Veil.
Yeah, I'm about to cast Fireball on these kids. Just
Do it.
kidding. Yeah, I'm going to give Liam a look like, "What have you done?"
Liam's not looking at you, man. He's breaking through the crowd.
Liam has by this point pushed his way through the edge of the crowd, basically dragging you, Eloise, along behind him. You've made it to the edge of it and push out, and more people are starting to run down the street towards this mob, but the two of you are starting to run southward away from it all.
Can I see blood?
Make a perception check.
It is with
Yep.
disadvantage
Yeah, at
because of
disadvantage.
his cloak.
Okay,
Watch, you're gonna fucking roll like double crits or something.
I better.
Nope.
That's a 9.
No, you have no clue where blood went. He's just disappeared. Apollyon is about getting towards the edge of the mob right now, but you're still in the middle of it.
Yep, I'm gonna Misty Step right the heck out of there.
Okay, you're on a city street.
I knew it was coming.
You can Misty Step up to 30 feet away. Where are you Misty Stepping? Just down the road?
Yeah, close to the last place I saw, or the direction I saw blood heading last.
You mean Liam? You didn't see blood. You
Yeah,
just
you didn't
checked
see
for
where
that.
blood went. He's gone. You can't
He
see
just checked-
Liam.
Okay.
You can see Liam and Eloise running away from the mob now. They're past. Apollyon is right at the edge, kind of pushing people away as he's trying to climb through all of them. You can Misty Step towards them and get through. I was just curious.
Yeah, I'll do
if you're,
that.
like going up to the roof or something like that.
Oh, you know what? Actually, yes, I would like to Misty Step onto the roof so I get a better vantage point of the situation, and maybe when I spot blood, I could
Ooh.
kind of go that way.
Okay. Yeah, you can Misty Step up to a small 2-story building's roof, and when you land on there, it's very rickety. It's stable, but you definitely, when you land there, you're like, oh, this isn't nearly as secure as I was hoping it was going to be. It's not falling inward or anything like that, but it's definitely you can tell this was a very hasty construction, and the materials they used to build this wooden 2-story building ain't the greatest. Go ahead and make another perception check, but you're still at disadvantage because blood.
Yeah.
His cloak. What are you doing, blood?
Well,
as you're
he
hiding in
got
the alley.
he got the hell out of there, and then what I was actually going to do is crawl up on a building just so he can kind of overview things. I guess if I could see Veil hop up somewhere, I mean, I can kind of make my way up to him.
Go ahead and make a perception check as well.
Yeah. That's 28.
Okay. So hiding in the alleyway with your hood up, you glance up and you see Veil appear on the edge of a building just to your left. You can easily see him. He's kind of standing at the edge and he's looking downward and around. His back is to where you are right now, and he's just staring downward, looking intently for something.
And yeah, Blood's also going to kind of say, I guess he probably came up with some kind of magic phrase for it, but he's going to turn his glamored studded leather and he's going to alter what his clothes look like. So he's just going to kind of pick maybe just a random person. He's going to kind of look and see what they're wearing, and he's going to make his outfit kind of look like that. And then
most of the people around here are fairly poor, so you're making yourself look poor.
It won't be. He'll make himself look maybe a little bit better than them, but it's going to look shaggy. So he's going to look like he fits in, and then he's also going to do something. He's going to end up doing this. He's
like
gonna make
a
himself,
clean street rat.
Yeah, he's going to make himself look. Actually, he's going to make himself look human. And so he's going to disguise himself. He's going to kind of like climb up there and fucking get Veil's attention.
All right.
Okay.
He's probably heard like his Blood was trying to do like those like the hunting sounds that he used to do with his brother to kind of signal, and he's just going to get up near Veil and just start doing those clicks or something like that. If Veil probably heard him before, so I would hope he's not going to just fucking fireball Blood as soon as he turns around. But he's just going to maybe he'll even do like a hand gesture to prove it's like, or he'll show him the crossbow or something like that. Hey, it's me.
Okay, so you using your
brandishing
claws,
a weapon.
He's like he'll open his cloak or something. He's gonna like open his cloak or something like that and let you know. It's like, hey,
we can't say the right thing in this scenario.
So Blood, using his climb speed because he's the tabaxi, goes zooming up the wall onto the roof as Veil is standing at the edge, looking around, looking down. You're now in this human form in some shabby-looking clothes, and you come up behind him and you just make those clicking sounds, click, something like that. Veil, you turn. And you see this random human standing there, pulling out his, open his cloak to reveal a crossbow at his side. What do you do?
All right. I guess I'm going to. Do I recognize the crossbow? Is my question. I've seen him use
crossbow.
Okay.
That's why.
Roll a perception check. You're not at disadvantage anymore because he's not using his cloak in that way.
Okay. That click.
Clickety click. Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, you definitely recognize that crossbow as being Blood.
and Veil says, "Blood. What's with the round-ear costume?"
I don't know. Did you just notice what happened down there?
Yeah, Liam said riot.
Yeah, we were walking with them, so I figured maybe a little bit of a change was in order.
With that 20... Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Veil looks at Blood and kind of, realizes, I think you're right, and he takes like his shirt, his robes, and he just adjusts it just like a quarter of a turn. Says, how do I look?
You look fantastic, buddy.
Like the left lap over the right instead of the right over the left.
Yeah.
He's like, I almost don't recognize you that way.
With that 23 perception, you can also hear those whistle sounds. The police whistle. I'm not going to do it, but and you glance back and you see there are some soldiers starting to run up. These are uniformed guards with a red and purple sash across their chest to kind of signify that these are actually city guards, and they're starting to run up onto this riot and starting to try to break it up now.
Okay. I turn to Blood and say, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, he also did. Did I hear right? Did I hear Apollyon scream the name of where we're going?
Yeah, that's.
It's called causing a distraction.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to go there anymore.
Oh yes, it is. We're gonna go with this mob.
Well, you're not with Blood Fail. He's like,
Well, you're not with Blood right now.
Yeah, you're kind of on your own right now. Liam and Eloise are still running far in the distance ahead of you. I don't think they've looked back. They're just gone.
All right, I'm gonna direct everybody's attention to me in the crowd. Come on, brothers and sisters, are you tired of squabbling in the slums? Follow me to a golden glory.
And at that point is when you realize that this mob, this fighting, brawling mob, is now being beat the shit out of by guards. They just kind of have waded in with clubs, and it's like you've seen a riot before, right?
Oh yeah. Fuck the police! Fuck the police! Get them! But at the same time, I'm yelling that. I'm like slowly backing away.
Like no one's paying attention to you. This is mass
you
chaos
don't have
right
followers.
like the Homer
Not with that
Simpson
attitude.
Some people like glance at you a little bit, but not many. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh dear God. Let's just hope and
Give us a nat 20, please. Make it happen.
The opposite.
Oh, I just did. I'm sorry.
So yeah, nobody
perfect.
is looking at you at all. There's just this mass chaos of a battle going down in the poor part of town. Guards are rushing in, people are screaming, running away with wounds across their faces. It is mass
Yeah,
pandemonium.
Apollyon just starts like backing up, like, all right, not my time, I guess.
And Veil turns to Blood and says, "A well-placed fireball, and I can have my army back."
yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, but you don't have anywhere to put them. We don't have your hole back.
Well, all we need is a board, and they could go right under that board while I sit atop it.
I mean, think about this. No. That's all he's gonna be. He's like, he goes, you know what? He's gonna rub his chin. Yeah, no. I'm sorry, buddy. That's not gonna work. We'll have to do that some other way.
I figure once Eloise and I get a decent enough distance away from the riots and the police and stuff, we'll chill around a corner and watch to see if Apollyon follows. We'll kind of wait for him.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're
and
not
make
just
a perception
gonna
check.
run forever.
Now, I figured you'd eventually make your way to an alleyway and kind of
Sure.
duck into it. Go ahead and make a perception check. Look for Apollyon. Apollyon, you are starting to make your way down the
12.
street. People are still running every direction. Some away from you, some towards you. It's insanity.
It's
not
only
lot
a
of people
12,
paying attention.
but it's not hard to find Apollyon usually.
No.
He's usually pretty easy
Big
to
red
find.
bastard. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes probably about 5 minutes of looking around, but you spot him down probably a couple hundred feet away from you, and you can wave him over if you want to.
Yeah.
And eventually, Blood and Veil, the two of you are able to regroup as well, back down on the streets, in an alleyway behind a couple buildings. These are mostly residential places with very tiny yards and alleyways in between, and with wooden fences, and so it's kind of cramped and it's very dirty and lots of trash shoved into these spaces, and it smells a little bit, but nobody seems to be chasing you right now.
Alright, so we've all met back up.
You have.
I told you I could make a good distraction. Now that one got a little bit more violent than I had intended. In fact, I hadn't intended to make that distraction. That's just how good I am at making distractions. I'm telling you, it's just part of me. It happens. I'm sorry.
So, Liam, you can't help but cause chaos. But I feel like at the same time, your heart was kind of in the right place.
I did not expect that, but when I saw it going bad, I went back to just find a way to get out of there.
And Eloise is kind of there next to you, just a duo of pure chaotic energy.
But at the same time, do you know how many of them are going to be able to buy things now? Some of them are getting away with gold, the strongest of them. Unfortunately, only the strongest.
And so the others, they're going to have to buy their way out of jail.
I handed one out to each of the children, and they should be able to buy their parents out of jail. And, well, I mean, it's about, I'd say about 200 versus, 4 cops? They should be fine. Most of them. They'll get away.
They were weaponless, and they were beating each other up first.
I feel bad about it. Would you like me to feel worse about it?
I wish you hadn't thrown the gold in the air. And then he's just going to turn on Apollyon and he goes, and you, how many times did we have to leave town after we escaped the fucking arena because you kept shouting your name and now you've shouted where we're going? Buddy, I love you. I love you, Pete.
I was causing a distraction too. Mod mentality.
You know we're supposed to be here in secret, right?
Speaking of secrets,
it's a secret.
Secret signs.
I didn't really get the chance to look now, did I?
I don't think I'm too good at keeping secrets.
Well, no, but now the entire town's over there, and we're over here. So look for the signs, you know?
What I was thinking of doing before you threw the gold in the air is I was going to start leaning down to some children and hand them silver, not gold, and start asking them in Thieves' Cant if they happen to know where the local place was. Because the Syndicate likes to use children as couriers and runners. So I would have found one eventually. But now they're getting their asses kicked. I don't think that's possible.
Well, let's look back at the crowd. If the children that you're speaking of work with the Syndicate, they would have taken the gold that they got and they slipped through the legs of the other ones because Syndicate trains good members. Yes? So let's see if I'd like to make a perception check and see if any of the kids that I gave gold to are in the near vicinity.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
Right. 15.
Like I described, you're kind of in a back alley between a few buildings. If you glance downward towards the edge, towards the main road itself, you do catch a few people going past, and maybe at least one child walking down the street, but not so far close to you.
No idea.
Gotcha. What's the thought?
Sorry, my roll 20 wigged out, and then suddenly I was stuck somewhere. All right.
Blood lesson learned, and we don't give so much money to draw that much attention in the future. And I apologize, but there are other ways. We can find other ways.
Don't get me wrong. I fully support you helping out the less fortunate. I was one of those, urchins for a while, so I fully support helping. But
so was I. I have a soft spot.
I get you. But you got to remember. The gold. You remember what a gold coin felt like when you were poor, right? That could fuck up the economy. It's going to make problems.
I also realized the day that I realized gold was worthless.
Yeah, now it is for us essentially, but
no,
I fully understand the gesture, sir. I do. But I wish it hadn't been done when we were trying to find a semi-secret place.
Like I said, all we can do is move forward from this point, and I can't find any of the children, so I'm asking your blood. Can you see any of your special signs that might direct us towards your friends?
Well, he'll start looking for those, but we do have a location to go, but he'll start looking for other ones, for other Syndicate markings.
Okay.
I guess it'd be a perception check or an investigation check.
If your group's heading back to the main road and making your way down through the slums and towards where you've been told is the cross swords, go ahead and make perception check. You're looking for signs of thieves markings, that sort of thing. Now, as you're walking, Liam, you're kind of thinking to yourself, maybe some of what Blood was saying is right, but at the same time, you feel like your heart was in the right place. What's your alignment right now?
Chaotic neutral.
I feel like it's more getting chaotic good at this point. Like I said, you're a big old freaking ball of chaos, but your heart's in the right place, so there's that.
Oh my god.
Hey, he's gooder than Eloise. Eloise is still chaotic neutral.
Yes.
Hey, she gave gold too.
No, but see, I gave gold because I saw you do it, and it looked like it would be funny.
Yeah, it's monkey see,
There's a
monkey do right
difference.
there.
Fair enough.
Eloise didn't think to give gold because to her, these shiny bits of metal mean nothing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But your group makes your way back to the main street, heading in the southeastern direction, towards where the map is leading you to the Crossroads Inn. And we'll find out what signs you see when we come back.
What
So stay
Dear.
tuned, everyone.
Ugh.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes, and we'll find out what Blood has been able to see as he makes his way through the slums of Revancia. Stay tuned.
Oh my god.
She's really good at being mean.
Oh, I bet you did.
I'm sure.
Probably.
Mhm.
But we're back.
You stay for it.
And when we last left off, the Faab Five had just freaking caused a riot and then ran off as the cops came, as they're looking for an inn called the Crossroads. Supposedly, where the local Thieves Guild is likely to hang out. Blood from a Stone, you are looking for signs, and you rolled a 25. Looking for any markings, any signs of Thieves Guild activity. And as you make your way further into the slums, as I said, it is kind of getting more residential, but you're getting more towards the outskirts at this point. And, excuse me. And, property is starting to open up a little bit. There's a bit more space between the buildings. And as you come along a road, you're starting to see on signposts, little carvings, symbols. Every so often, you're looking at the beggars, and you can tell which ones are a little more well-to-do, and they're not really so much begging as they are watching. And you're starting to notice, those street toughs, the knuckle draggers that are hanging in nearby alleyways, just with that careful, slow, labored watchfulness that kind of tells you you're kind of moving into an area that's definitely controlled. Eventually, you make your way down the street, and you find in the distance a rather unique building, which I'm gonna pull up right here. Your path has moved along the south side of the southeastern side of Revancia, and as you turn down a street called Hedge Row, you can see down near the far end there's a little bit of a theater, and on the other side of it is a single-story stone-walled building with several leaded glass windows along it. There's a big sign out front, and it depicts two bearded warriors, heads facing each other, with very little room between the two faces on this sign, which it's proclaimed the crossed swords. It looks like it was once a barracks of some
Yay.
type. What's that, Apollyon?
I said gay.
Cross swords is a symbol for gayness in Apollyon's eyes.
Well, isn't everything?
Pretty much.
The hanging sword.
No, the crossed swords.
The raised sword. There's too many things with swords. This is too easy. Move on.
Yeah, move on. Moving on, the place does look a bit more like a barracks. It's a long, low building, single story, like I said. Much more open in this area. As you're walking closer, you can see towards the back side of the building, there's a little well not far. And on the other side, the closer you get, you can also see that there are some stables in a little side building connected to this inn. The sounds from the inn itself are loud and lively, even at this time of day. It's only probably about 11 o'clock-ish in the day at this point. And even by those standards, a lot of noise coming out from it. If I could find my music for it anyway.
The place blood, are we here?
I believe so. I mean, that does say the cross sword, so just let's not cause any more distractions as we go in, please.
Enough distractions for right now. I gotcha.
I think we've had a day of it already. Yes,
It's still early.
unfortunately.
And you should actually be able to see the map of that building right there in front of y'all. But what are you wanting to do?
I mean, it's,
Building. Okay.
All right, what's the plan? We go in there and we drink these locals under the table?
Fuck around and find out.
Oh god, how should I?
Actually, Blood spoke to me last night. He said, just me and him should go in this time. Eloise did a wonderful job last time, but he wants to try a different method, just see how it works.
And as you look around after saying this, you realize Eloise is walking straight up to the doors right now.
All right.
There is a set of double doors, and there's actually a tall,
Nobody's
a very
listening.
tall man wearing very simple clothing. He has no hair on his head or face whatsoever. You realize this is another Goliath standing there, just leaning up against the wall near the door as you approach, and you're just walking up to those double doors, and he just kind of looks down at you, Eloise, and kind of gives you a raised eyebrow, but doesn't really say anything. as
In
you're
Giant, I just say, good morning!
He just kind of does that, up head raise of, yeah.
It is an inn.
What?
We're all welcome to go
Yeah.
inside.
Blood just walks by. He kind of gives like a little hand gesture. The thieves get to say it is like, please don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, the eyes narrow a little bit as you say this, but Eloise is pushed straight past him
Yeah.
through the
Well, he-
doors and is walking inside. Now,
Yeah,
Eloise, what you see is a long room that with a collection of arms and armor hanging from the walls. What the? Sorry, my Roll20 just decided to arbitrarily stop working. So give me a second.
A lot of sharp things on the wall.
Have you tried smacking it, like, with your hand?
There are times I want to.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So the room, as I said, is kind of wide but narrow. It looks like as though it might have once been a barracks, and there's a collection of arms and armor hanging on the walls in various places as you walk through. The room is very brightly lit, and there's already at least half a dozen or more people. Some sitting around tables. There's a few back little booths that some people are sitting at, and there's a handful of people at the bar as well. The bartender is a woman, a slender dwarf, kind of reddish blonde hair, little bit of stubble along her chin, but not a lot. And she as you are all stepping through the doors, Eloise, with Blood and Apollyon kind of just walking up behind you, she kind of gives you a kind of curious look, as though like, who's walking through my door?
These people know everybody that walks through their doors.
So Eloise, you just say hello and you wave and you start walking up, and more people are looking now at this point. Like the four people sitting at the table in the center of the bar, or center of the common area, is just all of them have their mugs down and are just looking over their shoulders at your group. Now, as you step through, like I said, there's several little I can't really call them booths, but they're just
Alcoves?
little alcoves. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Meant to give some people privacy. You do see that there are 3 doors on the wall to the west. Right there, right there, right there, and right there.
Mm-hmm.
In front of you is a bar. There's a few people sitting on the stools next to you. One is a dwarf whose actually head is down on the table, and he's snoring a little bit. His face is in some mashed potatoes on a plate, and he's just snoring away very loudly. Next to a half-orc woman who's actually eating a small bowl of something. You can't quite see what it is from your angle, but she glances over at you and gives kind of a sniff and turns away.
Oh no.
Now, the dwarf woman...
Okay, I don't want to interrupt her breakfast.
Absolutely. Now, the dwarf woman walks up towards you, Eloise. There it goes. Wouldn't move for me for some reason. The dwarf woman walks up, and as she's doing that, she's kind of wiped her hands on her apron before dropping it, and she says, I don't think I've seen you around here before. What can I do for you?
It's my first time in the city. It's great.
Really? That's so interesting. Nice to meet you, Eloise. My name is Thora.
It's so nice to meet you, Thora.
What brings you here?
Oh, my friend Blood did.
Oh, son.
Really? Your friend Blood? And she kind of looks over your shoulder to see you, Blood, and Liam starting to walk up. And she kind of gives you a very measured glance and looks you up and down. And she turns back to you, Eloise, and she says, you travel with some interesting people back there. What brings you to Revancia, though? Beyond your dark-furred friend in the hood over there.
Sightseeing, right, Eloise?
What?
Sightseeing. And he's really trying to tell you to God about the person we're looking for.
What are you talking about?
He said, just don't say anything, please.
And Blood,
I'll talk to her.
I imagine you've scooted up really quickly.
I'm begging you.
Behind her, yeah.
Yeah, I'm begging. I'll take care of it. Thank you. Order something to eat, drink, please.
But maybe she.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Please.
The woman, the dwarven woman, kind of looks between you and her, and yeah, I'm gonna have her roll an insight check real quick.
Of course.
While she's doing that, I'll just like get down off the chair. Oh, I love you too, and I'm gonna give him a big hug.
Okay, so the woman kind of glances between the two of you, and She's
Dying
like,
inside.
she looks more towards you. While this is happening, Veil, Apollyon, Liam, what are you three doing as you walk into this bar?
I'm just going to sit at this area right here. You pretty much see the whole bar from here.
Okay, so you're sitting down at
Yeah,
a table.
same.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll move over in this area too.
I'm choosing to be abnormally quiet to try and impress Blood.
And stoic. He's secretly thinking he was thinking.
Very stoic.
It's
And
like,
also,
it's like thank
Go
you,
ahead,
Lady
Apollyon.
Gula. One of
Go
I
ahead,
want to
Apollyon.
make sure to keep an eye on the door too. See anybody who comes in.
Sure, go ahead and
So
make a
as I
perception
walked
check.
in, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Veil.
I was going to say, as I walked in, I told the bouncer, or whatever you want to call him, word on the street is there's some snot-nosed brats on their way here. Another flea-bitten mongrels. Make sure they don't get in. And I'll pass them up.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Well, actually, make a deception check for more than anything else.
Well, does he believe it?
I could only.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point.
I'm not really trying to deceive him. I'm literally
Okay.
telling him what might be coming this way.
Okay, fair enough. Then yeah, then roll persuasion.
All right. And I did hand him a gold, so can I get it with advantage?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, let me first take the gold.
And he
off my
did
character.
call them mongrels and stuff, you know, he clearly distastes.
That guy's probably, sort of feels like he is a mongrel.
There it is.
So you palm the gold to the Goliath, and he kind of glances down, and he leans forward, down towards you, Veil, and he says,
Mhm.
"I'll keep an eye out."
I give him a nod of approval as I walk through the door.
Okay. And you go and sit down with Apollyon and Liam. Apollyon is trying to keep his eyes on the door itself and on Blood and Eloise. And there's a lot of things that's really interesting going on right now, Apollyon. There's a group of people sitting at a table nearby. 4 of them, a couple of humans, a couple people with a hood, a short one, maybe a halfling or something. It's kind of hard to tell at this angle. There's a big group of 3 people, a dwarf, a half-orc, and a human sitting in one booth that you can directly see. And there's a lot of interesting stuff. So you're kind of more focused on what's going on in the bar itself and really ignoring the door behind you. But Eloise and Blood, the 2 of you are at the bar. And what is it you're other than trying to shut up Eloise? What are you doing, Blood?
He's probably gonna be like, if I could order just, I guess, a round of, maybe a local ale for the friends, and if you have some breakfast, and then Miss Eloise, if you could go join our friends, please.
She seems so nice.
Oh, maybe she can bring the drinks to you, and you can have another conversation later.
About this time, another dwarf walks over to your table, Apollyon, Veil, and Liam. This is an older male, same red hair as the woman behind the bar, but a bit more gruffer and a big full beard. And he asks you what you want to drink. He also tells you that they do have food if you're looking for lunch.
Vale chimes in, pipes up, and he says, I'll take your coldest water and your shepherd's pie if you have it.
Hold this water.
I'll say in Dwarvish, double whiskey, please.
I'll say the same.
Okay. A shot of whiskey is going to run you 3 silver.
And
Wow.
a double will be 6.
Yep.
All right.
For the
water on the rocks.
Water on the rocks, and you said some type of pie. He writes
Shepherd's
down.
pie if you have it.
He writes down. He writes down some type of pie, and he kind of grunts and he tells you 5 copper.
5 copper, you got it. And I hand him 6 copper.
And he takes the coins, and about 5 minutes later, by this time, Eloise, the dwarf behind the table is actually reading off the menu, and they have stewed deer and carrot with a tankard of ale for 8 copper, boiled eggs and dried cabbage with a tankard of perry for 10 copper, wheat bread and whey cheese and a mug of stout for 5 copper, roasted pork with and dried shallots and a tankard of stout for 7 copper, a pottage with a mug of beer, and the pottage is what they actually bring you, Veil, when you ask for a pie, but it's more like it looks more like a stew with some shit on top, but they call it pie. And
Kitchen nightmare shepherd's pie. Gotcha.
Yeah, and he also brings you the closest thing they have to water.
Closest thing they have to
Grog?
water.
Is it grog?
It's not clear.
It's beer. It's just beer. It's a really watered down kind of
There's
lightly
water
flavored.
in that.
Tastes
Basically,
like
it's
Bud Light.
it's Bud Light Platinum. That's what it is.
There's
All right.
there's water in there. What's all that wetness? That's water.
Yeah, Vale doesn't really drink alcohol, but he'll
Accept it with grace.
can prestidigitation remove the alcohol from it?
I guarantee it cannot. That's a cantrip.
Right.
If you had like a
You
remove
can change
poison,
the flavor though.
yeah, you could change the flavor. Liam,
Yeah, I'm more along. Yeah, go ahead.
Liam and Apollyon, what you were brought is a bottle of really, really astringent, barely amber whiskey. It's rot gut, is what it is.
Some white lightning.
Despite how terrible it tastes compared to my whiskey, I am not going to show that it tastes like shit. So I'll probably roll a deception check here.
I'm going to use prestidigitation to make mine taste like pina colada.
I would think long ago.
I'm pulling it off decent.
I'd like to think his taste buds were blitzed ages ago, so it's just water to him at this point.
Probably. So what were you saying, Vale?
Oh no, Apollyon said he was going to prestidigitation to make his whiskey taste like a pina colada.
Okay.
And I'm going to re-prestidigitation that same drink to make it taste like a strawberry daiquiri for him.
Paulian's getting a sea breeze.
He was totally.
Oh my god.
He was totally expecting just a pina colada.
It's just a woo.
Yeah, that was
like,
weird. You were expecting coconut and pineapple, and instead you've got strawberry. What
He's
the
like-
hell?
Maybe I forgot what it tastes like.
But I'm going to tell you both, it burns going down. Both of you give me a Constitution saving throw.
Who's my puppy? He said,
19.
Yeah, Apollyon, it burns, but you know you're used to drinking. You've been you pound them with Liam all the time, and it makes a fire in your belly, but you're fine. You're getting a little tipsy, but you're not too bad. Even if you do shot after shot.
Do I need to make one too?
Yeah, you have to make one too.
Okay.
Does he get advantage because he's a seasoned veteran?
17.
Honestly, they don't need it. A 19 to 17.
Yeah.
I mean, you've each drank some. You're pretending that you like it. Apollyon is drinking a strawberry daiquiri.
Liam wrote the book on drinking.
Yeah. You know, it burns. It's giving you a little bit of a queasy belly, but you power through it, both of you, and you're fine. So, Blood, Eloise, you're able to order a meal if you want to, like I read it off a bit ago.
So how was the food itself that Vale tried? Because he's just happy to try. He loves food, considering...
I'm choosing not to eat. I am still stoically being stoic.
Yeah, with Liam over there doing shots, you tuck into the pottage, and it's edible. A lot of grease once you get past that crust, and it's very thin. It's the chunks that you're in there, and you're trying to identify them a little bit, but make an intelligence check.
Oh baby, just straight intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we do an inspection of the walk-ins in the kitchen after this?
Oh my god.
That's a 10.
Yeah, with a 10, you're kind of picking at the chunks and you're sniffing at it, trying to decide what the hell it is, and you have no idea. It's like greasy, it's slimy, it's not the best you've ever had.
It's rotten!
But not the worst.
Blonde, just terrible.
Yeah.
No good.
But
Awful.
Blood and Eloise, what are you
No
doing
flavor
up
at
in the
all.
Well, he might just look at it. He's like, hey, why don't you go, just go make sure Apollyon's not getting in any trouble for me, please.
Right.
You know how he can
Apollyon's trouble is always so much fun.
be. Well, remember where we are. We're in a place we don't recognize. Let's try and behave ourselves. If you can help me do that for him.
Blood,
Does
we're
he
in
know
a
how-
bar. We've been in lots of bars.
I feel like Vale could see across the way what Blood's trying to do, so he sends Jareth over to land on Eloise's shoulder and kind of give her a little not a little nip with his beak, but like a nice one, and then kind of flutters over and gestures him to follow her, or her to follow him.
Her to follow him.
Well, an owl flying across the common room definitely just draws everybody's attention.
Yep.
The
Everything
conversation
we do.
just drops. I mean, it does. The woman behind the bar is just like, "What the? Who let an owl in here?"
Once he lands on my shoulder, I'm just gonna start, scratching him and rubbing him and rubbing him. And hi, Jared.
And Vale chimes in. He says, "Don't worry, it's not a real owl. It's just a fae."
Damn wizards and their familiars. They better not poop on anything.
Oh, it doesn't do that.
Jared doesn't eat.
Boy, they act like they've never seen a familiar before.
But you don't have
Does
to worry,
Eloise follow
Sora.
Jareth?
We'll clean up anything if he does make a mess, but he won't make a mess. Jareth is
Does
really good.
Eloise ever come back to the table?
Yeah, does he follow
Okay.
Jareth? Or does she follow
Alright,
Jareth back?
she's staying there at the bar.
Nope.
She's just sitting there at the bar with this owl on her shoulder that's like nipping at her, and she's just rubbing into its feathers.
She's
And
being
this-
willfully obtuse at this moment.
She's got dragon scale like skin. I mean, nipping from an owl's kind of like.
I never said she's not taking damage, but it's still doing it. And from the perspective of this poor woman who's just running a bar, she has these two weird freaking people, one of which is just making a big scene with an owl in front of her.
Blood's going to, in Dwarvish and the thieves can't, just in case she speaks Dwarvish. He's gonna stare to say this about Eloise. He's just gonna say to the woman, the bartender, he's like, I'm just looking for some information. I apologize for what I brought in here. And he's gonna kind of, I guess, I'm sure there's like a universal code word or something like that. It's for the members to identify themselves to each other. I don't think we ever actually came up with anything. I know we've talked about it.
Is there a thieves' cant for my bad?
I mean, there is a thieves'
I'm
cant
sure there is.
and you can convey basic concepts with it. It's like ASL.
It's,
But-
I mean, I mean, he might be like, while he's talking, he's probably like, tapping or knocking or something like on the table, doing some things. He's just telling her, he's like, I am so sorry.
I'm gonna
I just need some
eventually.
information.
I'm just gonna interrupt here real quick. Sorry. ASL is a full language. You can convey more than just basic concepts with it.
Yeah.
You can convey complex sentences.
I know, but
Just
Cheese Cant isn't full on.
But I was
that.
saying-
There are some, yeah.
I realize that, but I just wanted
to
to make sure to point out that that's not what ASL is at all.
Well,
I mean,
yes,
you can
while
throw
we
that
do
one out
realize
there, and that means all kinds of
while
stuff.
yes, actual ASL absolutely is more than just basic concepts. The Thieves' Cant is mixtures of hand gestures and signs trying to convey concepts. That's what I'm saying. What I was why I was comparing it to ASL was just the hand motions and that sort of thing. Just so we're clear.
So
I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna say to Eloise, you got to solve an argument for me over here. This fellow over here doesn't think you can be friends with a familiar. You've got to explain to him that you can.
Wait, what? And I'm gonna walk off with Liam.
And as he's just gonna sit, Blood's just gonna put his hand to his chest and just be like, "Thank you." But he's not gonna say anything, but it's gonna be like a universal "Thank you."
So I'm kind of gonna gesture her to this good fellow over here. He's the one that doesn't think she could be friends with a familiar. Because I said that she has to have someone to talk to.
It's like, I hope you slipped him a few gold and just be like, dude, buy whatever she says.
I slipped him 2 gold. Absolutely. I just
so let's go ahead because we need to go backwards. If you're trying to convince some random dude in the Thieves Guild bar to play along with you.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
First of all, I'm choosing 5 gold. I'm gonna roll a sleight of hand to slip it to this guy. For starters.
Oh, thank God, that's decent.
Okay, 16.
You can palm it. So you walk over to this guy and you just kind of put your hand out and slide it, and he reaches out and grabs 5 gold from you. And this is a human man with dark ebony skin. He has a quiver full of arrows and a bow on his back, a short sword on his hip, and he just kind of looks at you and gives you a "What the fuck is this about?"
And just before I walk over to Eloise, I go, "Payment in advance, I apologize. Please play along." And then I go
well, you need to make one hell of a persuasion
check. Sure. Persuasion, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I... Yeah. Roll a good persuasion. Yeah.
Nice.
So this confused, bewildered man sitting at a table with 2 other humans and a gnome is what actually is at the table. And all 4 of them are just looking at you like, what? And then you walk over to the bar, grab Eloise, walk back, and you're pointing at this man as you're walking, pointing him out to Eloise.
And I'm pointing out the argument. I'm telling you, he doesn't think that you can be friends with a familiar.
And you just beeline on that. Go ahead and roll a deception check, Liam.
Sure.
Eloise, roll an insight check.
15. I'm still rolling decent.
Watch, she's gonna crit though.
14.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
No, I'm pretty gullible.
Yeah, you're pretty gullible.
Just got her.
I'm perceptive, but I'm gullible.
And so while this is all going on, the dwarven woman behind the bar that just watched this whole fucking scene go down, while Blood's sitting here in Thieves' Cant apologizing profusely, you can tell without an insight check that this woman is kind of getting annoyed.
Yeah.
And she looks at you, and she just says... She leans in, she puts a mug of ale in front of you that she pours off of a keg in front of her, and then she sets it down in front of you, and she says, not loudly, but in common, why don't you just tell me why you're actually here, and we can skip past the runaround of all of that.
Trust me, that was not my choice. She is, let's call her eccentric.
I prefer free spirit.
I wasn't planning on her even being here with me today. I wasn't planning on her approaching you, but so for that I apologize. But he'll kind of like he's gonna pull down because just below the like his neckline and everything, he has got like his little almost like I guess like a tattoo or like a brand.
A brand, yeah, it's a brand
that shows that he is a member. And he's just saying he's like, we came here because we believe a friend has been accosted and is being held here somewhere in the city. And I'm hoping
tortured.
I'm hoping that I can get some local help here trying to find him. And like he's gonna kind of reach into his bag, and he's gonna pull out 2 of the bars, and he's just gonna kind of as best he can slide them across 2 of the syndicate gold.
Okay, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check to slide these over, and a
after what happened?
Check.
God, I love blood sleight of hands. Please.
It's 22.
17?
22, not bad.
God.
Roll the freaking nat 5.
Yeah, I know. And a 20 persuasion.
Okay. So you kind of like put your hand underneath your cloak and you flip your cloak up just a little bit as you're sliding these bars across. And these are some some costly bars.
Yes.
That you're sliding over to her.
The price has gone up since they've walked in. So,
and she
just let Eloise
moves her hand
to her.
She reaches her hand out, snatches them up as you put them across, and she pulls them over to her, kind of has them down and looks at them, and she looks over at you and she says, "So you're looking for information, are you?"
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Well, Rumfurrow is in. He's downstairs. If you have any questions, I suppose maybe he's the one you want to go talk to. But and she kind of looks past you at Eloise, who's now walked over to the table, and by this point and is standing down at this ebony-skinned man with a bow across his back and a quiver of arrows on his back, who's just looking up at you, still kind of bewildered and confused by this now that a white-scaled dragonborn has walked up to him just grinning.
Let's
You must not see the friendship between me and this owl.
And she says,
I'm the only affiliated. I understand.
You're not there, Blood. You're at the counter.
No, the dwarf is talking to him.
Yeah, the dwarf's talking.
They can't. You guys can't come, or at least Eloise can't come.
I thought we were in Eloise's conversation. No, I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to hear what Eloise was saying to this guy while this is happening.
Okay. He'll say he goes, "I'm the only one that's received the mock." I fully understand.
She. You notice she moves her hand down to her waist and is kind of sliding those gold bars out in her belt pouch, and they sag quite a bit. They're decent sized bars, but
they're heavy bars.
You go ahead and drink that.
You will,
and I'll wait right here. Keep them.
I so wish. You have no idea.
and
he's just. Yeah.
She steps back around the bar and goes over to the door, there's a door right over here into the back area. She opens it and kind of has her head half in, and you can kind of hear her saying something to someone on the other side of it. While that's going on, Eloise, let's have it. What are you doing with this guy?
Well, did he respond to what I said?
I kind of only heard half
Just-
of what
just
you said.
reiterate what
give
you
me
said, yeah.
Give me a.
I said, how can someone with eyes as lovely as yours not see the friendship clearly between me and this owl?
And he just kind of looks between the two of you, and what now?
I'm gonna look over.
But behind her head, I'm flashing 5 more gold. Come on.
And I'm gonna turn towards Jareth and be, Jareth, come here, sweetie. And I'm gonna hold my hand out for him.
Okay. Veil, what are you doing?
And Veil can just feel like, nah.
Dean, look at this beautiful owl. He's just so gorgeous and so intelligent, and he does so much for us. And just look at his little, and I'm just gonna start like scooching him under his chin.
I don't think I need like syndicate symbols to convey please and play on. You know, just like I'm doing all this behind her back.
And Veil, what are you having Jareth do during this time?
So Jareth went over to her arm, appeased her for a moment, fluttered back to her shoulder, and then he's going to look at Veil. Veil's going to give him a nod, and then Jareth's going to fly over onto Blood's shoulder. And from this point forward, Veil is going to see through Jareth's eyes right now.
Well, Blood's just gonna look at him and be like, okay, Veil, I get it, but he can't come with me. They will kill him and me.
Hell, you
Why?
understand, we already outed your owl as a familiar, and now they know what that means.
Oh, they knew it before, I'm sure, but yeah.
All right, so just to clarify, he can't go with Blood.
Yeah, they knew
Matt?
that they're not gonna.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to get across from you. They're already aware that he's a familiar, so the stealth dumb aspect doesn't work anymore.
Well, so what does happen is after a few minutes of the woman's head poking out from around the door, she turns and she sees Blood, and Jareth
probably
flying,
chewing the thing off,
flying over towards him, and Blood trying to shoo it away. And she walks back and she says, "Someone will be with you in a moment. The owl can't go."
Oh, you have no idea how much I don't want him to. Why he's trying to push him off his shoulder.
I'm trying to make eye contact with Blood to see if he wants me to go or not, because that was the previous plan.
Yeah, I mean, he'll just kind of look. I mean, I guess if he looks over and sees, he's just gonna be like, he's just gonna kind of shake his head, like, no. It's like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work now.
I barely understand what you're saying, man. Like, I don't quite pick it up. I only rolled an 11 on insight. I'm sorry. I mean, like,
But at this point, you can hear
the owl can't come, or no, I can't come. Like, with an 11, it's hard to tell.
Well, by this point, Eloise, you have this man who's looking up at you like, "No, yes, I see now. You definitely have a deep kinship with that creature that just flew over there away from you, and is harassing the tabaxi at the bar. Yes, absolutely. Definitely a firm friendship.
Point of order. Is he still a human?
Yeah.
No. Oh no, Blood's turned longer because it's been longer than an hour. So yeah, he's turned back.
Okay, Okay, just curious.
But anyway, the guy is disingenuously agreeing with you, Eloise.
Because we're friends doesn't mean he can't do whatever he wants. He's still his own creature. And just look at him, he's so majestic. And you know what? He helps to guard us. And when we're sleeping, and he is able to spot things from far away, and it's just
Eloise, when you've convinced a man, you don't need to continue to convince him. You won the argument. Now shake hands. Let's all have a beer. On me.
The man's just like looking between the two of you, and he glances back at the other people sitting at the table and gives them one of those looks of, do we really want to deal with this anymore?
Tourists, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, if I get the male server back, then I'll buy a round for their table and for ours.
Okay. For like probably 3 silver, you can buy enough rounds of beer for everyone. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage, convincing these people to just take the beer and leave well enough alone, because they're definitely getting irritated at this point.
Sure. Alright. Took off 4 silver for a tip. Persuasion check with advantage. 23 or a 22. Either one's a badass roll.
Yeah, it is. And with that 23, they accept your beers and kind of give you a, okay, dude, whatever. Thanks for the beers, and they kind of turn back to their table.
Yep.
And
Excellent.
are giving you the, okay, go away, vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think you could beat Apollyon in an arm wrestling contest?
No, I'm not stupid, and I'm gonna skip over to the bar, and I'm gonna go, Miss Thora.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
Can I have a shot of whatever you have that's the best?
Oh, well, you can actually. I have this, and she walks over. She turns around and walks back to the bar for a few minutes, and there's a big, wide assortment of bottles along the back wall. She picks up one that's kind of dusty and walks back over to you and sets it down, and she says, this right here is called Allsmead. It's a homebrewed delicacy from my home village, which is actually to the west of Morag.
We were in Morag.
Oh, did you? Well, it's a pretty big place, isn't it?
It's huge.
And it's to me, it was kind of claustrophobic. I'm not too big on living underground. But up near the mountains, we do have a pretty big a big variety of hornets up there that grow honey, or that produce honey, and we collect that and make this. And it's made from the sugar of the honey, but then it also is made from wheat, and it's aged in barrels for about 10 years before it's bottled. And then aged for another 25. And as she's opening this, she just the smell of sickly sweet fermented honey comes wafting off of this, and she pours it, and it's this really dark, ruddy liquid, like kind of reddish, kind of golden, and thick. As she pours it into a glass, 5 gold for this shot.
Okay.
And she passes it over to you.
Matt, you're a little too descriptive. My mouth is watering right now.
No, that sounded really good.
Yeah. It's almost as though I used to be a chef. At about the same time, a half-orc comes pushing through the door to the back, and he looks over at the dwarf as she's pushing this liquid over to you, Eloise. It, like I said, thick, syrupy, and very sweet smelling. The orc and the dwarf exchange looks for a moment as she's kind of uncorking it once again. And she gives him a nod, and then gives a nod over to Blood. As though to say, this is the guy. Do you take a sip, Eloise?
Mm,
5, 4,
no,
3.
because I was planning on running back to this guy and giving it to him.
Okay.
Giving it back to the man that you were talking to?
Uh-huh.
Okay. He looks up at you and kind of surprised as you approach him, and he's like, I thought we were good.
We are. That's what this is. It's to show that there are no hard feelings.
And
Thank you for your conversation.
You set this this glass down, and it's not very big. It's a small shot, like half an ounce at most. And you set it down in front of him, and he just looks at it.
I'll bet he recognizes it, though.
He looks it over, and he's like, okay. As the orc walks over to you, Blood, and he says, "You're the guy.
I suppose I am.
This way." He walks back to the door and pushes it open. And as he pushes it open, you can tell that it's actually a kitchen back there.
Make a second insight check here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that at advantage, but the first roll is
You're over at the
a
table,
20.
dude. What do you
No,
inside?
but I'm trying to make eye contact with Blood. And I'm making sure that I'm not supposed to go with him because that was the previous plan. So with a 20 insight, though, I do think I understand I should stay right here.
Well, is that what you're trying to give him, Blood?
Yeah, I guess when he starts walking over, if he sees him looking, he's just gonna kind of be like, just shake his head once, just like, and then turn and walk towards follow the half orc.
We can find Mitchell.
I'll get pulled up to the big game one of these days.
Hold on a second. So, the man reaches out and takes the ebony skinned ranger, takes the shot, sniffs it, and downs it.
Laura says it's really special. It's called Allsmead, and it's from her home village, and apparently it's like really special. It like takes like 10 years and then 25 years.
Yeah. And he begins coughing. The moment he downed it, he's just hacking and coughing. When you drink some alcohol,
Some good shit.
You weren't expecting.
You don't realize,
yeah.
Oh no!
He's coughing,
Miss
and as he's
Thora, was
coughing,
that supposed to be sipped?
you notice that little flecks are starting to be coughed out of his lungs as he's coughing.
Oh my gosh!
And you're kind of patting his back as he's coughing, and you keep hitting him on his back, and more of these little flakes of something come shooting out, and you're noticing they're kind of a yellowish color. And they just land and as they land on the table, they're just kind of sitting there. These flecks.
Veil leans forward. He leans forward in his seat, paying attention more closely now.
Sure. All right, what happened to the yellow flex, Matt? Keep going.
Okay, well, what happened is what he's doing is he's coughing up fucking beeswax. He failed his con. He failed his con saving throw, and he's coughing up beeswax, which is just basically crystallized and solidified in his lungs after inhaling as he swallowed, and so basically he's coughing up big old yellow loogies of wax.
As I'm telling him, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Giant bees before.
Just out of instinct, Eloise heals.
Healing word.
Yeah, and he's just coughing and hacking, and you're pumping healing into him. You do heal, you do cast healing, and he does get healed, but it's not curing what he's dealing with right now.
Yeah.
It takes him a few minutes, and while this is going on, Blood, The orc leads you back into a kitchen. And you see another dwarf, a younger man this time, actually working the table, chopping up some vegetables, and he kind of looks up at you and scowls. But he was expecting this, and he watches. Now, there are 3 doors in this room, one of which is directly next to you right here. One of them leads outside, and this door is actually open, and you can see through the doorway as you're passing a little bit of a dirt path that leads out to the well, out to the side. They definitely have water back here. But you are led around that to a door. A back door right here, and you actually see there's 2 doors, one to the east, one into the north. The orc opens the door to the east and leads you into a small back office that's brightly lit by a candelabra on a table in the back corner. You can see a large desk, a door to what appears to be like a back closet area. And you also notice in the corner there's a trapdoor that has been propped open. And you can see a little bit of a ladder going down from there. The orc walks over to it, and he kind of gestures down here.
Okay, he's going to go.
Into the creepy cellar. Let's do it.
You're actually moving completely, Blood. You are down at the far lower end of the map now.
Okay.
Climbing down
I see
the
where
ladder.
it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Climbing down the ladder, you are kind of surprised to find a cellar that has been outfitted as another bar.
A real bar.
There's 4 people sitting at this bar, a half-elf, 2 humans, and another half-orc, and there's a gnome working the bar behind it. And all of them are looking up at the ladder as you come quickly stepping down. They all just kind of look at you, and they're staring, and it kind of makes you uncomfortable because you get the sense that they're weighing and measuring you as though trying to figure out who you are.
I mean, he might throw up, like, I'm almost picturing, like, the fucking hand signs of Bloods and Crips to do. But he's just gonna, like, just put something up and just, like, indicating he's a syndicate member.
Zoltan.
Hail Zoltan!
Dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's your car?
Besides the bar itself, there is a bit of a walled off area and 3 doors here, and here, and another door in a small alcove to the far south, right here.
Which one's the gentleman in?
The gentleman?
The setup is very, I'm just the gentleman from Critical Role, the gentleman.
The gentleman.
The bar in the basement of the bar,
Was there? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was but yeah,
Jester's
that
dad.
required a passcode.
Yeah.
Jester's dad's place.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar.
Ish, I guess.
Sorry, I'm
Similar-ish, sure.
Yeah, and is there also a casino down there?
There is no original content anymore. Give it up.
there were probably gaming tables, sure.
Well, that's definitely what you walk through. The orc leads you to another door that's to the west, and as you pass through it, you step into a small casino. Quite a few card tables placed up, and a lot of people around it gambling. The orc leads you past through them, and as the 2 of you step through, everyone just kind of stops and watches. Like, you're definitely feeling a fish out of water as you walk by these people.
He's not going to show it, though. He's just going to keep walking. Like, he knows the deal.
Yeah.
The orc leads you to another door to the south, and he knocks on it. This is a big iron door, heavy set fitted into the stone of this underground casino. And after a few moments, you hear, "Get in here!" The orc opens the door, and you step through. And there you see a long, low office. The ceiling itself is only about 7 feet high, and like you're 6'2", and you kind of almost want to crouch down a little bit as you're stepping into this area. The walls themselves are covered in bookshelves with books. You see a chest of drawers in the center of or to one side of the room. A couple of treasure chests that are locked. Well, at least it's chests anyway. I shouldn't call them treasure chests. They're just big iron-bound chests against one side of the wall, and a weapons rack in one corner. Seated behind a low desk, you see a halfling man. He is short for a halfling. Looks to be about young to middle years, with brown hair, brown eyes, and he has a rugged, pockmarked, tan skin. His face is round, and his eyes kind of squint a little bit as he's looking at you, and he says, "So Guido, what do you got for me here?"
I guess is Guido got to speak, or should I speak?
Guido, the half orc, standing behind you, and he says, "This one came in asking for information, boss. But he apparently paid handsomely to get in here." And he places down the 2 bars of stamped gold that you had given the bartender. The orc then walks back around the table and goes up to the door, closes it, and then leans against it. The halfling picks up one of the bars, and he kind of examines it for a minute and does one of those, with the dominoes, where you kind of go along one side, flip it down, go down the other side, flip it down, just in his hands as he's looking at you, and he's just sitting there staring at you as he's kind of fiddling with this gold bar. Seems as though he's content to just stare at you and wait for you to say something.
I would extend my hand in friendship, but I know you wouldn't accept it.
Seem to be a very presumptuous type.
Well, not out of an insult, but in our line of business, handshakes tend to get... Well, let's just say handshakes can never be always welcomed. So I fully would not insult you by doing that.
And he opens a drawer in the desk, and he takes both of the bars and drops it down, and you hear a clink as he drops these, and he pushes them closed, and he says, "Well, you paid handsomely to get in front of me. Why are you here, and who are you?"
Well, my name is Blood from a Stone. I originate out of Rowena. But I am here today on a more personal matter. You see, we came in here rather suddenly. We had to move quickly. But I am in a city that I do not know. And so I sought local flavor. Maybe if I could find some information from folk of my kin.
And he kind of... You wanted to know about Tabaxi?
No, I meant kin as in fellow members. Branded individuals, so to speak.
Oh. I see. So you coming in here, stepping into my place of business, and you just automatically assuming that because I'm a halfling that we all a bunch of low down no good sneaking rats? Is that what you saying here?
No, there were signs on the door that said that this was a syndicate location.
And you coming in here asking about syndicate members? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. The gentleman I'm looking for is not a syndicate member. I am a syndicate member. And he'll show his little brand. He's like, I was coming, hoping to find a friend. Well, a friend. He's going to gesture to the gentleman, the halfling, that maybe I could get some information from if he had some information to give.
The halfling sits up and he had a book in front of him and he kind of closes it and he says, let's just go ahead and speak plainly. You're looking for information.
That is correct.
What are you looking for?
3 weeks ago, a wizard located in Port Valena was brutally attacked. Now, that wizard's name is Mitchel. And we believe through a friend did some magical, I don't know, she was able to locate this individual. And we do believe that he is here in the city or somewhere nearby. Now, I'm not saying a syndicate member took him. Someone of the church, quite perhaps, is the one that has taken him. But I'm here to seek friendship, to see if I could find, if you might have heard anything, or maybe someone, one of your spotters had seen something odd happening in the city.
I've had cave here.
That might direct us to where we can find this individual. And he's going to gesture towards what he put in his desk. He goes, there's more of that where it comes from, if you can assist me in finding this man.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Normal.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not.
It's a 12. It was on the 16, but it's a 12.
Okay. The halfling, he looks at you a little bit, and he kind of gives you a very long and measured look. I'm actually having him roll an insight check.
I will fully understand if you do not wish to help me, sir.
No, just a minute there.
Well, no, he's just saying, he goes, I'm not, he goes, I will fully understand if you do not. If you do not even have information to give. I'm just here seeking the question. The gold that I've given, of course, is still yours to keep. That was to get me in the door.
That's not even a discussion
I mean,
here.
That was an automatic to get me in the door to speak with you, sir.
So I suppose it's possible someone might have heard something about this. And I suppose, I might have some people who might have seen things at some points that might be willing to talk to me about it. I suppose the question really is then, Mr. Tabaxi, how much is this worth to you?
The information, I can give you 10 more of what I gave you. And another 10 if he is here and we locate him. So that is another 2,000, sir, to find this individual.
He thinks for a moment. He kind of glances back at the half-orc who's standing behind you, and he says, Guido, get out there and get us a bottle of something nice. Why don't you come here and sit down? He kind of gestures to one of the stools in front of his desk.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying I've heard nothing quite yet. But half up front right now, and I'll make some inquiries.
How about
maybe in a couple days you come back here and maybe I have something for you.
well, a couple days we do not know if he has.
The halfling says, "Well, I can appreciate that, but you got to remember that Rowena's a big city. Lots of people here. There's a
I
lot
might
of
be able to
people
help you narrow it
I gotta
down.
be talking to."
I've got some more information. I could help you narrow that down. We know he is being held in an underground stone structure. We also know, and I can't remember what her name is. But what was the woman, the leader?
Abier.
Abier.
Like Orlana Abier or something like that.
Ivek Avier.
Ivek.
We also happen to know that a very influential member of the church is involved.
High priestess.
Yeah, she has a villa outside of town. I'm sure you know the one.
Well, did you say her name, Blood?
No, he's heavily implying he was a very high member of the church. Then he emphasized she has a villa.
Got it.
You said it was, 30 miles north of town?
Yeah, 30 miles north of town.
It's like somewhere north of the town. I know you know the one. It's a tempting target. You know the one.
He nods and he says, I know the one you're talking about." And a knock on the door interrupts and says, "Get in here!" And the orc walks in, and he sets down a bottle of red wine, uncorked, on the table, and 2 glasses, which the halfling picks up and pours for the 2 of you. He pushes one towards you, he picks up the other, and he says, "The individual you're speaking of, she's known. Difficult target, that one."
Exactly. It's why I am here seeking information from a friend.
You want to know whether or not this individual has taken this other friend of yours.
Let me just say, I don't know. But someone I do know, through a magical means, has seen that it is, in fact, her that has taken him.
Well, as I said, I can put my feelers out, find out if anyone's seen your interest, your individual interest at that church. Now, me, I dabble a little bit. I go every now and again. I've certainly heard the individual you've spoken of preach. Very charismatic, but you know, that type has a lot of security.
Unfortunately, yes. If there was information there that you would have on circumventing that, we could talk about that as well. But I would not need assistance on the ground, so to speak. I think we will be able to. One, I don't want the syndicate to be considered to be involved. That's the blowback that we don't need. this is more of a personal nature and a favor to a friend that feels guilty for this individual being taken.
As I said, if you're wanting me to find out whether or not this other individual has been seen with your church friend, I can find out. It's going to take me a little while. If you're wanting to know whether or not she's in the city,
Well, I think we could probably go to the church and find that out, but
well, I can confirm that I saw her 2 days ago at the church when I went there myself.
you know what? And I do believe that is about the time that my friend, through magical means, witnessed this individual with the gentleman that has been taken. So that makes me believe that, I mean, that gives me good sense that he is in fact here, and so is he.
Well, as I said, if you want me to find out for sure, I can send some people up to the God, I'm blanking on the fucking name now. The basilica.
Yeah, I don't remember what. Yeah, it's like I think you gave it a name. Yeah, it's on the map.
It's another word for a pentagram, but anyway,
It's
Quintarium. Anyway, I can send some boys over there to see if she's still there. Or I can send somebody out and see if maybe she's at her villa, if that's what you're looking for.
Well, yeah, I mean, well,
I'm not sure exactly what it is you're asking for.
We're trying to see if there could be any indication that this individual is here in Revancia, our friend that was taken. If there's any whispers amongst the church, like the god, her personal god, if there's any kind of thing like that, if any of that information is out here, I know you will find it. That's what we do.
Well, as I said, if that's what you're looking for, partial payment up front, 5 of those bars, and I will put my feelers out and send my boys to go ask some questions, and you come back in a day or two, and I'll tell you what I've found.
And he will take out actually 6. He's like 5 for the info, and another 1 for your time, sir. Another 15 delivered upon 5 for the information, and another 10 when we secure our friend. Dead or alive, by the way.
Okay. Then I think we have an accord here. And he looks at that glass of wine sitting at the edge of his table.
Did he take a drink?
He's been waiting for you to pick it up.
Well, he'll. You know what? He probably sees him eyeballing him and seeing that. He's gonna do a quick insight to just see if this guy, like, it's that almost. Oh, is he gonna drink the poison that's in his cup? It's obviously there.
Yeah, go for it. Roll an insight check.
25.
You get the sense that it's not that it's poison. It's more that are you willing to show him?
He's not going to insult him. Yeah, he's gonna. Oh, he's gonna take it. He's gonna take it, and he'll like toast it up to him. See if he returns the gesture.
Yeah, and he does as well, and he says, "One last thing. I don't like breaking bread with somebody I don't know."
Oh, he gave him his name, didn't he?
Did you? You said you were from Revancia. I don't know. Did you?
No, I said he was. His name's Blood from the Stone, out of Rowena.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you said your name. My bad. So he toasts you up and he says, "Very well then. Blood from a Stone from Rowena. I would say we have a deal. I'm going Guido, send for the information runners. I got some words to put out. Anything else I can do from you, Blood from a Stone?" As he's taking a sip of his wine.
Yeah, he's going to take a sip as well, and he's like, "No, sir, you have been fantastic."
Very well. and I'll see you in a couple days from now. Hopefully your friend's still in the city.
I hope so too, sir.
And I think that's actually a good place to end things for this evening.
I don't have to run a con check? Am I, just nothing? Okay.
Yeah, do a quick con save, because I haven't had alcohol in a long time.
No, see, that's where I was saying, when they were in the church before Apollyon went full-on squid monster, I was like, he was taking some of those whiskey shots. He's been doing it when you haven't been looking. So you guys have drove him to drink again. That's what he's...
I believe
But
it.
also, in this situation, there's no fucking way he's going to disrespect this man and not...
Hey, if you've been sneaking beers, you need to tell me so I can take them off of the beer chart. Like, I won't do it in game.
He's not doing the beers. He's not doing the beers. When I would like to think when he was inside Sigmund's house, he found the brand that he used to love, and he snuck some of those bottles, and that's what he kept to himself.
Okay. Well.
All right. Is the black gentleman that Eloise gave the powerful shot to okay? Hey. I need to know.
Yes, he does. The fits only last for about a minute, at which point it does clear up, and it's some harsh shit. It's pretty strong, but it's sweet as hell, and just affects you weird if you roll under a 16. But awesome. he is alive.
They should put that on the label.
Where's the fun of that? But anyway, thank you to everyone who watched this evening. We very much appreciate you tuning in. Come by next Monday and find out what the Faab Five actually do. Are they going to wait to find out what the syndicate members can dredge up? Or are they going to go somewhere else and look on their own? They have a gigantic city to explore. And we'll find out what happens in a week. So on behalf of everyone here in the Faab Five, I just want to say thank you once again for watching. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Peace.
Later.